I'm Chris Lawrence in Dallas with your headlines in North Texas. The Lone Star State is looking for ways to solve its water crisis. And if we see a severe drought in 2030, the Water Development Board believes Texas could run out of water. But there's growing outrage in East Texas over a proposal backed by a wealthy Dallas investor. He wants to drill dozens of wells and pump billions of gallons of water for rural aquifers. Rebecca Lopez has extensively covered our water issues, and residents in Henderson County just told her they're worried it'll destroy their communities.
Inside a packed public meeting at Jacksonville City Hall, tensions boiled over.
There are people wrapped around this building that have been waiting in the heat.
The issue, whether to allow conservation equity management led by investor Kyle Bass to drill water wells in the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer. Residents fear it's the first step towards siphoning water out of East Texas for profit.
If this goes through, we will not have water to survive here. We will not have water you'll kill the communities. You'll kill these counties.
Those communities across Smith, Henderson, Anderson, and Houston counties say they've been left in the dark about where the water is going and who might be buying it.
Folks, it's clear what's going on. This is a grab for water, and it's by a rich man who's trying to enrich himself to the detriment of all of these good people here.
Bass insists that's not true and that his team is only in the first phase, collecting data through legal science-backed drilling.
Whatever you've been reading about us trying to take all the water and going to leave the whole area out of water, I would never do that. We are doing things that are responsible by law and by science.
Still, dozens of residents stood to show their opposition.
Respectfully, I'd ask that everybody that's here that's in contest with these applications quietly stand up and raise their hand, because half the room's standing already.
While the company says there's no current plan to export water, many aren't buying it.
They don't have to tell us who they're selling the water to, but I guarantee you they got a contract with somebody.
County judges, state lawmakers, and even major employers like Sanderson Farms have filed official protest warning the plan could put jobs and local water supplies at risk. The Neches and Trinity Valley's Groundwater Conservation District will decide the issue. For many here, it's not just water, it's a way of life they're fighting to preserve. In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
New grocery stores are popping up all the time, which can make it a bit tough to compare prices. Janelle Ford shows us how a Dallas police officer came up with a way to help families find the best deal.
He's worn a badge for nearly 2 decades.
I've been a police officer coming up on 18 years.
But off duty, Officer Michael Waldrop is a serial entrepreneur.
This will be my 5th company.
It started with a hot dog cart in his 20s, then came 2 barbecue joints, and his most successful venture, a donkey beer burros business called Big City Farms.
Now you want to compare.
Now, his latest hustle is a tech-driven solution for a problem everyone's feeling.
We like to say our app is a one-stop shop for grocery savings.
It's called Grocery Deals, and Monday it'll go live on the iOS App Store.
We're going to launch in DFW, Houston, Austin, San Antonio.
Here's how it works. You pick your store, build your cart, then hit compare. The app scans local prices and shows you where you'll save the most.
Our formulas that we've created in our app basically do the magic behind the scenes, and then show the user what the total balance is and itemized breakdowns of every single retailer.
On average, his team says users could save up to 20% just by knowing where to shop. And with more grocer options than ever, that kind of transparency matters.
Convenience, location, freshness, price.
For Waldrop, this isn't just a business, it's a continuation of the job he's already sworn to do.
You'll go somewhere and it looks like this family's struggling, and we'll go buy them stuff.
From patrols to price checks, he's serving his community on and off the clock. In Dallas, I'm Janelle Ford.
A SpaceX rocket exploded in Texas before it could take off from Starbase. Engineers were filling it with liquid oxygen and methane fuel when the rocket burst into flames. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the company is calling this a major anomaly. The space program does involve a lot of trial and error, and CEO Elon Musk says he's still forging ahead with plans to launch a rocket every week next year. A town in Collin County will be celebrating a historic school this weekend. Dia Wall takes us to Farmersville to show us what's being done to make sure what happened inside isn't forgotten.
This school has a story to tell.
It was called Welfford Junior then it went to Welford High School.
A white 2-room building for black students to attend.
Well, everybody. My mother went here, and if she lived, she'd have been 100 years old. And I mean, it was just a history of everybody in Farmersville. That's the only place we had to go.
From pre-K through high school.
We had tough teachers. They were really tough. You didn't find many skipping classes and absentees. You didn't find many in those days because all the teacher had to do was tell your mama.
The Welfford School closed its doors in 1965 with integration. Now, some 60 years later,
and I was nervous when I first went there, but
students from Farmersville High School are using their talent to tell its tale after a pitch from their AV teacher.
We never knew about any of that. So after the class, we went up to him and asked him if we can work on it.
Where'd you grow up?
Here in Farmersville from age 5.
The pair captured interviews, built the graphics, and got to work on the trailer for an upcoming documentary.
It's important because just letting them tell their stories and hearing what they went through and how everything was for them. First of all, we're losing so many students. You know, so many of our students have passed away.
But not Miss Margaret Redwine at 99 years of age.
Yeah, I think it would be good for them to know how we came up. It was really a school of joy. We had a lot of fun, especially during recess, because we played all types of games.
What are we looking at, Ben?
Ben, we're looking at the Welfford School, and this is a rendition of our concept of what it'll look like in the future.
The city of Farmersville owns the land and is working on its concept plan to turn the old school into a community center.
There's a lot of memories of the school and fond memories from people that went there. And in the end, what we want to do is get some grants for the project.
Why is it so important to preserve the history of this school to you?
To me, because so much of black history has not been preserved. You know, if we can preserve the darkest part of our history, we could definitely preserve, I guess, a part of our community. There was a light. It was a light in our community to go to school here.
A light this community wants to shine for generations to come.
So we have to acknowledge that our history and to also show the young generations that this is who we are, this is where we had to come from. This is what we overcame.
In Farmersville, I'm Dia Wall.
And with so many new people moving here every day, it is important to preserve these historical places. And those are your headlines from North Texas.